Because you people and 62 million other Americans are listening to me right now. Because less than 3% of you people read books. Because less than 15% of you read newspapers. Because the only truth you know is what you get over this tube. Right now, there is an entire generation that never knew anything that didn't come out of this tube. This tube is the gospel, the ultimate revelation. This tube can make or break presidents, popes, prime ministers. This tube is the most awesome goddamn force in the whole godless world. And woe is us if it ever falls into the hands of the wrong people. And that's why woe is us that Edward George Ruddy died. Because this company is now in the hands of CCA, the Communication Corporation of America. There's a new chairman of the board, a man called Frank Hackett, sitting in Mr. Ruddy's office on the 20th floor. And when the 12th largest company in the world controls the most awesome goddamn propaganda force in the whole godless world, who knows what shit will be peddled for truth on this network?
Hey everyone. So I recorded a video a few days ago, and I recorded it about TV, but I was just editing it and I've missed some stuff out. So I thought I'd redo it. And the reason I wanted to record it is because I think a lot of families, a lot of people and their families on this planet at the moment, they're so used to the TV, they're so used to having a television inside that technology in the corner of the room, that it becomes a harmless member of the family almost, or a harmless item of furniture. A lot of families bond around the TV, you know, watching movies and eating meals and stuff. And I'm not saying it's all bad, but I am saying that as a species, we need to be aware of some of the abilities that the technologies we allow into our home and we subject our children to has the ability to do to family members, to imprint upon their minds and with it their behaviours. Now, what exactly can this technology do? And how exactly is it designed? So television in the home, in the family home. The thing is with people, I always say to people, the thing that people don't realise about TV is it quite clearly programs your mind. A TV program programs your mind. And then if you pull it right back in the most basic way of looking at it, if I owned a network, a TV network or a channel, and my goal was to get to start up a certain topic of conversation, I could actually work out how many millions of people, based on people who view my channel and stuff, I could get to do that simply by choosing the program that you watch today. If I choose the program that you watch today, a vast percentage of people are in turn going to speak about that program tomorrow when they're at work or with their loved ones, with their family and stuff like this. So, TV, whether you like it or not, does program your mind. And if it doesn't, just try and be aware of yourself. Do you have a conversation tomorrow about something you might watch tonight? If you do, then you must understand that the person who chose the programming, if they were to choose the programming, knew what you would speak about. They know. So, is it that, I mean, you can look at it and say it's not that sinister, but I've mentioned this in other videos. Most broadcasting houses on your planet are owned by 6 families. 6 families own all of the broadcasting. Sorry, one of my dogs. I've got a problem. 6 families own most of the broadcasting houses on your planet at the moment. We all know, I think a lot of people know in publishing you have the big six. They are the same families, the same ownership. And the thing is, you can't see it unless you look. You've got to look beyond a logo and something presented to you, like, oh, this is so-and-so broadcasting. It means nothing to you unless you're willing to sit back and do a little bit of homework to find out exactly what is going on and who owns the stuff that's being pushed into your living room, pushed into your family's minds, into your children's minds. You owe it to your children to check this, to make sure that the people choosing what you allow your children to consume have good hearts and good minds and have the right intention for your family. We know on the planet that some people don't have good intentions, so you should check and see who they are. And a recent one, to give you an example, there's a German broadcasting house. It was the biggest in Germany, Bertelsmann. Now, to people in Germany, Bertelsmann's just a big broadcasting house still. It always has been. But in 2002, Rothschild and Goldman Sachs bought up Bertelsmann pretty much when it was in need of some financial boost, shall we say. So they own that, and they are part of those six families I just mentioned. It was another acquisition for families to own the media on the planet. And when you own the media, you can own what people discuss, as I've just shown. So after that, Bertelsmann went on a buying spree and bought up even more media outlets. So that innocent name in Germany is now owned and controlled by the same six families and all the ones it bought since then, as the six families which are owning, all different aspects of press and media on the planet, but predominantly most are controlled and owned by six families. So those six families can, if they wanted to, meet, which they do. Guaranteed. They can meet up. They can have discussions. They can choose what they're going to broadcast to the mass populace. And with it, as I say, if you discuss something, it becomes your reality. The things you discuss become your world. They become your reality. So people go out every day discussing the programs that these six families want them to do. These six families can manage and govern the human consciousness. They can say, right, I wanted to do this, this and this, and they can do that using TV. So a lot of you know I speak about esoterics, and in esoterics you have levels of consciousness which in science translate to brainwave frequencies. So you have earth, water, air, fire, new mind. In science that's beta, alpha, theta, delta, and a lot of people are claiming gamma is the new mind frequency. So, sorry if my dogs are disrupting this. So when you meditate, you raise up from beta into alpha. And when you raise up from beta into alpha, you get a break from yourself, from the chatter of your mind. The constant thoughts of me, of past, of present, of worrying about tomorrow and yesterday. The story of me, the concept of you. And we all know what it's like inside a brain sometimes. It just won't give up. And it's because our children are not taught in the West how to do it. That's as simple as that. Here, I see people naturally meditating. I see that in countries like this where they're not constantly ruining their ability to control their minds by surrendering it over to technology like a television. So when you do raise up from beta to alpha, you get a break, and it's addictive. And rightly so, because we all need a break from ourselves. We all need that. So when you watch television, the technology works in such a way, the light flickers in such a way that your brain moves from beta to alpha. You alter your state of brain frequency, your state of consciousness, but you don't do it, the technology does it for you. So two things are going on. First of all, you're becoming dependent on this release of the chatter from your brain. But in doing that, you're handing yourself over to the chatter that a machine wants to give you, which will turn into the beta chatter the day after. So your brain alters into alpha, and your brain's at a state of rest. Technology comes in, the light comes in, which I've mentioned in other videos, and when it does come into you, it goes into your subconscious and it's stored there. The next day, you'll see people start repeating what they've seen in beta cycle. So their brain, operating at the beta frequency, is now repeating the information that was fed into it when it was forced into the alpha frequency. So you can see the difference if you're meditating on something and you raise yourself into alpha, and you can find messages from the present moment, from the universe, from life, from Earth, from Mother Earth, whatever. Then those are the things you will speak about when you're back into beta. But if you receive the message in alpha from technology that's been forced upon you, the thing you'll speak about when you come back into beta is that which was fed to you. And as I've just said, 6 families are feeding you what they want to feed you, predominantly with television. So there's more to television than that, and one of the main problems we have is the way it... Well, okay, so let's talk about some other stuff about it being in the family home first. Overconsumption of things. If you're sitting and you've surrendered to technology, you're going... Most people overeat when they watch TV. Your body works in such a way, it's a fine-tuned machine. When you're eating food, your brain hears the signals and it says, oh, I'm full, I need to stop eating now. If your brain is overtaken by light and technology, then you'll never ever be able to hear that you're full. And eventually you'll train your body out of that. You'll train your body to not tell you that you're full. Sorry, my battery died. So, for me, TV is just a huge waste of time. And it's not only that, it's dangerous at this point. There's a small minority of people who are controlling what is broadcasted. And who's to say they're of sound mind? Who's to say they haven't got psychological problems? And from what we see, power corrupts people. And they are some of the most powerful people on the planet. So we, as humans, as parents, as children, as sons and daughters, and brothers and sisters, and aunties and uncles, and grandparents, we have a duty to find time to check what it is that we are allowing into the very home of our children. You wouldn't let strangers into your home to sit and teach your children things. You'd stop them. You'd say, I'm not letting these strangers into my house to teach my children unless I know that their intentions are pure and just. You would check on them. If someone was coming to your home to teach your children, you would do some research to find out who they were and what their agendas were and what they were going to teach. But people don't, because it's the harmless television and somebody else has already done that for them. They think, well, they haven't. And it's not harmless anymore. And we have a duty as humans to the ones that we love, be they our children, be they our parents, our brothers and sisters, whatever. We have a duty to check on these things and find out who are the people who own that which is broadcasting things into my home and into the minds of my children. Who are they? What are their wants on the planet? What are their agendas? And when you get down and drill into it and you find that all of these broadcasting houses are owned by families like the Rothschilds, who are just constantly wanting to expand upon their power, and have said things like they don't care who governs a country so long as they control the money supply, then you can start to see that they might not have the best interests of you or your children in their hearts or in their minds. So for me, television, it's a waste of time, but it's a dangerous waste of time as well. And I appeal to anybody out there who does watch TV and subject their loved ones to TV to do some research before you just trust that it's a safe thing to put your child down in front of for hours on end, because you've got no idea what it is that is going on. And I'm going to do more videos on this because there's other subliminal stuff that goes on in TV and movies, and people just don't know about it because they haven't got time. They haven't got time to stop providing for their families in the West, unfortunately. They're caught up constantly working, and then they come home, they're a full-time mum or dad. You don't have time. But if you have time to watch me now, then you have time to learn this stuff, because some of the people among you have managed to learn it and they want to share this with you and tell you how it is, you know. And it's not some crazy conspiracy, it's the facts. It's the facts. The BBC, which you allow into your home every day, reported that one of those towers fell half an hour before it did. How did they know that when a tower's never collapsed in the history of mankind like they did that day until that day? How did they know? Yeah, you've just got to be sensible, and you've got to start accepting that the way you view your reality might not actually be how it is. There's only one truth on the planet, and you know that many different people have many different views on things. You know, be it religious, be it on world events, be it politics, but there can only be one truth. And that's where we should all aim to be. And you're not going to get there watching a controlled mainstream media. You're just not. So, for me, TV, waste of time. Okay.
We're in a lot of trouble. So, a rich little man with white hair died. What has that got to do with the price of rice, right? And why is that woe to us? Because you people and 62 million other Americans are listening to me right now. Because less than 3% of you people read books. Because less than 15% of you read newspapers. Because the only truth you know is what you get over this tube. Right now, there is an entire generation that never knew anything that didn't come out of this tube. This tube is the gospel, the ultimate revelation. This tube can make or break presidents, popes, prime ministers. This tube is the most awesome goddamn force in the whole godless world. And woe is us if it ever falls into the hands of the wrong people. And that's why woe is us that Edward George Ruddy died. Because this company is now in the hands of CCA, the Communication Corporation of America. There's a new chairman of the board, a man called Frank Hackett, sitting in Mr. Ruddy's office on the 20th floor. And when the 12th largest company in the world controls the most awesome goddamn propaganda force in the whole godless world, who knows what shit will be peddled for truth on this network? So you listen to me. Listen to me. Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We're in the boredom-killing business. So if you want the truth, go to God. Go to your gurus. Go to yourselves. Because that's the only place you're ever going to find any real truth. But man, you're never going to get any truth from us. We'll tell you anything you want to hear. We lie like hell. We'll tell you that Kojak always gets the killer and that nobody ever gets cancer in Archie Bunker's house. And no matter how much trouble the hero is in, don't worry, just look at your watch. At the end of the hour, he's going to win. We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds. We're all you know. You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. You do whatever the tube tells you. You dress like the tube. You eat like the tube. You raise your children like the tube. You even think like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion. So turn off your television sets. Turn them off now. Turn them off right now. Turn them off and leave them off. Turn them off right in the middle of the sentence I'm speaking to you now. Turn them off.